I still get chills thinking about that day in Willow Creek Estates, this upscale neighborhood tucked away in the rolling hills of Northern California, where everything looks picture perfect on the surface, manicured lawns, gated entrances, folks driving those shiny SUVs like they're on a perpetual vacation, but underneath, oh man, the tensions simmer like a pot about to boil over. It all started when Dr. Elena Harper, this brilliant 28-year-old black woman who'd just inherited Harper Realty Group from her late grandmother, showed up to the monthly HOA meeting in the community clubhouse, dressed in a simple tailored suit that screamed quiet confidence, her laptop under one arm and a designer tote that cost more than most folks' monthly mortgage slung over her shoulder. And right off the bat, Karen Wilcox, yeah, that's the name I'll use for her, this self-appointed queen bee of the HOA board, a middle-aged white woman with a chip on her shoulder bigger than the Pacific, spots Elena walking in and decides, nope, this doesn't fit her narrow little worldview. So she marches over, voice dripping with that fake politeness that barely hides the venom, and says, "Excuse me, miss, this isn't some public park residence only, and I don't recall seeing you at any of our events, so maybe you took a wrong turn from the bus stop downtown." Elena paused, her dark eyes steady as she set her things down at the front table reserved for speakers she'd been invited, mind you, to discuss some property updates, but Karen wasn't having it, towering over her like she owned the place, which, ironically, she kind of thought she did after years of bullying her way through board decisions. Driven by this deep-seated resentment toward anyone who didn't match her idea of fitting in, especially since her own husband had lost his job in real estate a few years back, leaving her scraping by on HOA dues and neighborhood gossip. The room went quiet, a dozen or so residents, mostly older couples who'd lived there for decades, shifting in their seats, some whispering, others pulling out phones just in case things got interesting. Elena, calm as ever, pulled out her invitation letter and ID, holding it up with a polite smile. "Actually, I'm Dr. Elena Harper, here to present on the new development plans. Here's my documentation." But Karen snatched it, crumpled it slightly in her fist like it was trash, and tossed it back, snarling, "Don't try pulling that with me. Honey, fake IDs are a dime a dozen these days, and we don't need outsiders stirring up trouble in our community." The air thickened, you could feel it, like that moment in a storm before the thunder cracks. Elena's grandmother had built Harper Realty from nothing, turning rundown lots into thriving communities, but after her passing 3 months ago, Elena had stepped in, facing whispers from boardrooms about being too young, too inexperienced. Not to mention the subtle and not-so-subtle racism that came with being a black woman in a predominantly white industry. And now here it was again, staring her in the face. Karen, fueled by her own frustrations, her family had been hit hard by the housing market crash, and seeing someone like Elena succeed where they failed, gnawed at her, pulled out her phone, starting a live video on the neighborhood Facebook group. "Everyone, look at this, another one trying to sneak in and scam us, probably here to push some agenda on our property values." Elena adjusted her suit, staying seated, her voice even but firm. "Ma'am, I suggest you check that invitation properly before you make a scene. This could go south real quick for you." And that's when Karen lost it, her hand flying out in a sharp slap across Elena's cheek, the sound echoing off the clubhouse walls like a slapstick gone wrong, leaving a red mark blooming on Elena's skin while the room gasped. Phones now openly recording. Have you ever been in a spot where the world underestimates you so hard they can't even see the storm brewing right under their noses? Elena sat there, head snapped to the side but posture unbroken, rubbing her cheek lightly as the sting set in inside, though her mind was racing. Years of boardroom battles and late-night strategy sessions kicking in, reminding her that power isn't about yelling back. It's about waiting for the right moment to flip the script. The slap wasn't just random. Karen had been pushing for stricter HOA rules to preserve the neighborhood's character, code for keeping out anyone who didn't look like her. And Elena's presence threatened that, especially since rumors had swirled about Harper Realty eyeing expansions that could bring more diverse residents, something Karen saw as a direct attack on her little fiefdom. A retired teacher named Martha Jennings in the front row started filming, her voice steady. "This is assault. Plain and simple, I'm documenting for the authorities." Next to her, a young tech guy, Jamal Ruiz from down the street, a 24-year-old who'd grown up facing similar biases, fired up his own live stream. "Yo, this is wild. HOA lady just hit a guest. Straight up discrimination going down here." And Tom Ellis, a former cop sitting in the back, pulled out his phone too, muttering, "I've seen enough injustice in my day. This ain't right." Karen's face flushed, but she doubled down, calling security, which in this gated community meant the private patrol guys over her walkie-talkie. "We have an intruder refusing to leave. Send someone quick." Elena's phone buzzed nonstop in her bag, texts from her assistant, legal team, even the HOA president who'd invited her, but she ignored them, placing the phone face down, and said quietly, "Ma'am, assault in a public meeting like this? That's not just bad manners, it's a crime. And with all these cameras rolling, you might want to rethink your next move." Footsteps pounded outside as 2 security guards burst in, badges gleaming. The lead one, Officer Reyes, glancing at Elena's reddened cheek, but turning to Karen first. "What's the issue here?" Karen, her live stream hitting 50 viewers, already mostly nosy neighbors, pointed dramatically. "This woman's faking her way in, probably to sabotage our meeting. She got mouthy when I asked her to prove it." Reyes looked at Elena, noting her poise amid the chaos, the expensive watch peeking from her sleeve, and asked for her ID. She handed it over smoothly, The invitation letter too, showing she'd been cleared weeks ago for a premium spot at the table. But what no one in that room knew yet was that Elena wasn't just any guest. Harper Realty didn't just develop properties, they owned Willow Creek Estates outright, leasing lots to the HOA under a multi-million-dollar contract, and Elena, as the new CEO, held the keys to it all, literally and figuratively. Reyes examined the docs, nodding slowly. These check out. Why the accusation? Karen sputtered, her stream climbing to 120 views, comments flooding in like, is this real? And call the cops. But she insisted, I've been on this board for 10 years. I know when someone's out of place. Probably bought those papers off some sketchy site. Tom, the ex-cop, spoke up loud. Officer, I saw the whole thing. She slapped her without checking anything. Total overreach. Martha added, recorded it all. This screams discrimination. Jamal's stream hit 80 viewers. This is blowing up. Y'all HOA gone rogue. Reyes's face hardened, realizing the mess. Assault, live evidence, potential lawsuit brewing. He told Karen to kill the stream and step back, but she refused. You're all being duped. That's when the HOA president, Mr. Leonard Hayes, a 55-year-old real estate vet who'd dealt with Karen's power trips before, rushed in, uniform crisp, eyes widening at the scene. The recordings, Karen's agitation, Elena's calm despite the mark on her face. Leonard, tell them she's not supposed to be here. Karen barked, but Hayes reviewed Elena's docs on his tablet, everything legit, and apologized profusely. Dr. Harper, this is unacceptable. We'll investigate fully. Elena's phone buzzed again, this time from her board chair, but she declined, pulling out a sleek business card holder instead, placing a card face down on the table with deliberate calm. Mr. Hayes, before you dig deeper, take a look at this. It might clear things up. The room tensed, Tom zooming in on his camera, Martha leaning forward, Jamal's viewers demanding, what's on the card? Elena flipped at Harper Realty Group, Dr. Elena Harper, CEO and majority owner. Hayes's color drained. He knew the name. Harper owned the entire estate, $45 million in assets, leasing to the HOA for hefty fees. Dr. Harper, I had no idea, Hayes stammered, and Elena replied evenly. Evidently, and just so we're clear, this clubhouse? It's on land my company controls, contract worth $32 million a year. Tom read it aloud for his video. CEO of Harper Realty, she owns this whole place. Martha's notes flew as she grasped the power shift. Jamal's stream exploding with weight. She owns the neighborhood. Reyes froze, never handling a case where the intruder turned out to be the boss. Hayes radioed the community manager. Get over here, now major situation. Elena continued. This has been documented, live views hitting 300 already. Willow Creek assault, trending locally. Karen, voice cracking. This can't be real. Business cards are easy to fake. Elena turned to her, laser sharp. MS. Wilcox, your job doesn't include racial profiling, slapping people, or streaming without consent. That's violated every rule in the book. The community manager, Captain Burke, arrived, silver-haired and authoritative after 30 years in property management, eyes flicking to the card, recognition hitting like a freight train. Dr. Harper, profound apologies. This shouldn't have happened. But Elena pulled another card. Apex Investments, managing partner, holding 15% of the HOA's parent consortium. Not just the land. I own a chunk of your oversight body too. The room erupted in whispers. Tom murmured to his camera. She doesn't just own the dirt, she's got stakes in the whole operation. This is next level. Martha documented furiously, seeing a landmark case unfold. Jamal's viewers topped 900, industry insiders chiming in. Burke paled, dialing the consortium CEO, code read potential catastrophe. Elena's analytics app showed viral spread, stocks dipping for the consortium, her own rising. Her board chair called on speaker. Elena safe? Legal's prepping termination options. She replied, hold off, let's see their fix first. Burke committed to changes. Karen's removal, retraining, public apology, bias reporting, diversity audits tied to leases. Elena pushed for more unconscious bias training, advocacy hotlines, metrics reported quarterly. The FAA equivalent here? State housing regulators called, triggering investigations. Other developers messaged support, adopting protocols. Elena announced the Equity in Communities Foundation, $60 million endowed for discrimination victims in housing. 6 months later, complaints dropped 82%. Elena's contracts expanded. Tom headed security advocacy. Martha taught bias workshops. Jamal reported on civil rights. Karen, after training, reflected on her biases. But here's the thing that still nags at me: was Elena's response too calculated, too forgiving, letting systems change without harsher personal consequences? Or was it genius, turning pain into progress? What do you think? Have you faced something like this in your neighborhood, where power flips the script on prejudice? Drop your stories below. Let's debate if justice means punishment or real systemic shift. Because honestly, these moments make or break communities, and I'd love to hear your take.